Hi, welcome to this video in which we're going to see how to write the hook or grabber for an introductory paragraph. This video corresponds to an essay type 1, stating a preference, or agreeing or disagreeing. Before we get started, I would like to share with you this important note that says, there are many ways to write the hook or grabber for an introductory paragraph. The structure that you will see in this video meets the essay writing standards of CBA Santa Cruz. So let's get the ball rolling. Here we have the question, what is a hook or grabber? It is the first component of the introductory paragraph that main function is to catch the reader's attention. As you can see here, there are 6 types of hooks or grabbers. The first one would be an unusual detail. The second, statistic or fact. The third, anecdote. The fourth, question. The fifth, quotation. And the last one, the hook or grabber could be a statement. So here we have the prompt that says, which one do you prefer, eating at home or in a restaurant? Our first example corresponds to a quotation. It says, there is a quote that says, food tastes better when you eat it with your family. Here we have the second example. Which one do you prefer, eating at home or in a restaurant? Example of an unusual detail. Sharing a meal together is shown to increase the secretion of oxytocin, the love hormone. Let's move on to the next one. Here we have a third example. It says, which one do you prefer, eating at home or in a restaurant? The example of an anecdote says, I will never forget the time I ordered pasta at a fancy eatery. It looked amazing, but after the first bite, I realized I could have made the same dish at home and probably better. Let's move on to the next example. Here, the prompt says, which one do you prefer, eating at home or in a restaurant? This example corresponds to a statistic. It says, approximately 90% of people enjoy eating with their families and close friends. We continue with a question. Example of a question says, have you ever felt emotionally connected with someone after sharing a meal? And finally, the last example corresponds to a statement. The prompt is basically the same. Which one do you prefer, eating at home or in a restaurant? My statement says, in my city, eating with family or friends on weekends or holidays is quite common. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to see some examples of how to write the hook or grabber for an introductory paragraph. But this time we are going to have different kinds of prompts. Based on those prompts, I'm going to share with you some examples of how to write an effective hook or grabber. Let's start with example number 1. The prompt says, do you agree with the following statement? A private university is better than a public one. Well, in this case, my hook or grabber says, nowadays young people consider that earning a university degree is very fundamental in life. At this point, we focus only on university. We do not yet specify whether a university is public or private. We do that in the next stage, which is the focusing. Example number 2. The prompt says, which is more convenient, living in a house or in an apartment? Why? My hook says, currently owning a place where to live is something that some families consider important. So at this stage, we focus only on to live. We do not yet talk about living in a house or an apartment. Remember, we have to do that in the next step, which is the focusing. Let's continue with example number 3. It says, do you support or oppose high school cafeterias stop selling junk food to students? Why? In this case, my hook is a question. It says, have you ever thought about how our lives would be without junk food? As you can see here in the important note, we focus only on junk food. We do not yet mention stop selling junk food or not. We do that in the next stage. Example number 4 says, which would you prefer for your next vacation? Traveling to a national destination or an international one? Why? In this case, my hook or grabber says, in the last years, traveling on vacation has become a trend. As the important note states, in this stage we focus on traveling on vacation. We do not yet mention traveling to a national destination or an international one. Example number 5. The prompt says, do you agree with the following statement? Technology is killing our leisure time. In this case, my hook is a question. It says, have you ever thought about the impact of technology in our daily lives? The important note says that at this point we focus on technology. We talked about only technology. We do not yet mention whether technology is killing our leisure time or not. Here we have another example, which is number 6. It says, where would you like to live? In the suburbs or downtown? Why? Here my hook says, currently living in an ideal area or neighborhood is a concern for some families. So at this point, we focus only on living. We do not yet mention living in the suburbs or downtown. We have to do that in the next stage, the focusing. Finally, we have the last example, number 7. It says, do you support or oppose teachers assigning homework to students during winter vacation? Why? My hook says, doing homework is an essential part of a learner's learning process. So at this point, we focus only on homework. We do not mention whether we agree or disagree assigning homework on winter vacation. Well, these are the examples that I wanted to share with you. In the next video, we are gonna see how to write the focusing for introductory paragraph. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourself and goodbye.